From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. A measure on Colorado's ballot this November asks voters to choose whether wildcat hunting in the state should be banned. Supporters of the initiative point to what they say are cruel hunting practices, like using large teams of dogs to chase mountain lions. They also say it would eliminate unethical trophy hunting, meaning hunting for sport without making use of the meat. Opponents say a hunting ban would cause mountain lion populations to explode in the state, and that could devastate deer and elk herds or lead to more livestock being killed or maimed. So how badly do Colorado's big cats need the protections being proposed here? Denver Post reporter Elise Schmelzer covers this issue. So we asked her to help us figure out why this proposal is going before voters, what it might accomplish, and how it might affect Colorado's mountain lion population.
Proponents for the ban say that wildcats need better protection, that we shouldn't allow hunting of them because hunting isn't necessary to regulate the population. They also say that the current methods used to hunt mountain lions are unethical, that the use of packs of dogs to chase a mountain lion up into a tree to be shot by a hunter violates the concept of fair chase and hunting, which is a ethic that basically tries to level the playing field between people and wildlife.
In your reporting on this, I know, Elise, that you've probably talked to a number of people. I wonder if there's a story you could share from a supporter of this bill that you've spoken with about why they feel this is needed.
I went on a tour a couple months ago to the wildlife sanctuary up in Kingsburg, Colorado, where they have all kinds of different large cats. They have wolves, they got bears, they have all kinds of animals, and it's
an incredible place.
It was really interesting to be there, and the folks who are arguing for this ban had a rally there, and it was really interesting to talk to some of the supporters and who look at these wild cats. We went and saw some of the mountain lions they have out there, and just see kind of incredible creatures that they want to see more broadly on the landscape, and that they think have intrinsic value that shouldn't be hunted because they should be allowed to be where they are, a native species.
And what are the exceptions to this prohibition?
If this were to pass, if voters were to pass this ban, there'd still be exceptions for wildlife officials to come in and kill a mountain lion that is causing a problem with livestock herds or is a threat to human beings. But there would be no ability for you or I or anybody else in the general public to hunt a mountain lion.
Mountain lion hunting has been regulated as big game in Colorado since 1965. Mountain lion licenses account for a small fraction, about 1% of the Colorado hunting licenses issued in a given year. And hunters kill around 500 mountain lions a year on average. So what would happen to Colorado's mountain lion population if all that hunting ended?
Generally, the population in Colorado is pretty stable. CPW estimates that there's between 3,800 and 4,400 mountain lions in the state. They increased from 1965 because the populations were so low at that point in time. So they've come up since then just because it wasn't open season on mountain lions anymore. And then since then, it's been pretty stable.
And so is there any evidence that hunting has affected their populations, either negatively or positively?
It's hard to know because we've never not had mountain lion hunting. There's never been a period in time in modern Colorado where mountain lions weren't hunting. So we don't know what the natural mountain lion population would look like.
Livestock depredation is one of the top concerns for opponents of this bill. What are their worries here?
Opponents of the ballot measure say that if we don't regulate the mountain lion population through hunting, that the number of mountain lions will explode, and the more mountain lions there are, in theory, there could be more depredations on livestock. Already, the state does compensate ranchers for sheep and cows that are killed by mountain lions. It's a long-standing program, but they're worried that this will become an increasing problem.
Now, you spoke with retired Colorado Parks and Wildlife biologist Jerry Apker. He's been very outspoken about voting no on this initiative, meaning voting no on the ban. And he thinks wildlife officials who use science to make decisions about mountain lion hunting have done a good job. Could you talk a little more about his argument?
His argument is basically that if we cease mountain lion hunting, the mountain lion population is not going to explode. Some opponents of this ban say we'll have an uncontrollable amount of mountain lions, it'll be unsafe. He says that's not the case. That's not the problem here. His argument is that this is not about biology at all. He says that this is a referendum on hunting in general, whether or not we should allow hunting of predators in Colorado. That's what he points to as kind of the larger underlying issue.
Well, despite his outspoken no vote, Jerry Apker says the long-term impact of this ban on the wildcat populations would likely be marginal. Why is that?
He says that research shows that kind of mountain lion populations will self-regulate within whatever habitat is available. So his thought was that we might see an increase in the first years as those 500 cats are no longer hunted every year. But then after that, it will find kind of a stable population and it will stay. We're not going to suddenly have 30,000 mountain lions running around Colorado. And data from California kind of supports that. They haven't had any hunting of mountain lions since the 70s, and they have relatively similar densities of mountain lions as lots of other Western states that do hunt them. There's also concerns that increased mountain lion populations might harm deer and elk numbers. And while that's possible, Apker said that whatever changes might happen are marginal, that the larger impacts to deer and elk are human caused mostly.
Elise, do you have a sense of why supporters have brought this proposal now? I wonder if it has anything to do with the success of the wolf reintroduction vote some years ago, too.
People are definitely drawing connections between the two, especially opponents of this are definitely drawing connections. They're saying that this is another example of ballot box biology where the voters are making decisions about wildlife management, and the opponents of this say that that's not how that should work, while proponents of this ban say the will of the people matters.
Elise Schmelzer is a reporter with the Denver Post. Elise mentioned that the initiative on November's ballot includes protections for bobcats and lynx. Bobcats are often hunted by trapping, which critics say is cruel. And while lynx are already protected by the Endangered Species Act, proponents worry that they also get caught in and harmed by traps. We'll post a link to Elise's article on this initiative in our show notes and at kunc.org. And we want to hear from you. If you have a comment on today's episode, please email us or send a voice memo to noco@kunc.org. That's NOCO@kunc.org. That's it for us today on In the NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. We'll see you tomorrow.